Hello everyone, this is Fabio Carvalho and you're watching now Adisra SmartView course. Today's topic is the object grouping. This is the different type of object since it's created after grouping other objects. The first thing we will do is actually creating a group of objects and going over its properties. I will add a few geometric objects and some basic objects. So let's start with the process screen. I'm gonna open it. And as you can see, you have a grouping here, but you cannot simply click here and draw an object like you usually do with a basic object or a geometric object. But instead, you need to first add the objects you want to this grouping. Let's say you want a rectangle with a combo box, and you want to put a button maybe. And you decided this is going to be a group of objects. And it can be a group of objects for many reasons. But just for testing purpose, I'm gonna create one. So I'm gonna select all of them by dragging the mouse and selecting the three of them together. And now, as you can see, the grouping is enabled. So I'm gonna click. And now we have a grouping object, which is one single object. And inside of it we have actually three objects: the rectangle, the combo box and the button. If you check on this bar, you can see that it's already selected and it's a group, but if you expand it, you can see the inner objects. As I said, we have the rectangle, the combo box and the button 4. So let's check the properties in the property grid. It was created a group, so it was given a name as group 1. It does have the location and the size of it. It does have the z-index as well. You can move them forward or backward against other objects. You can also disable or enable the draggability. There is a new configuration here which is locked or not. By default it's not locked. Let's see what it does. Here, when I expanded the group, I was able to select one of the inner objects, like oh, I forgot to configure the click of the button. You can still select from here and do the configuration for the button. Okay, but if you make it locked, suddenly you can still expand, but now it's disabled. You cannot select one of the inner objects. So this is one of the properties that make sure that you're not going to be changing the grouping after it was finished. You still have the angle property of the group, so you can rotate the entire group as one single object. You have a tooltip for it. You can enable or disable this object, and this will apply for the inner objects. You can change the background brush. You still have scripts like a mouse click. If you want to execute something on the click of this entire grouping object, you can do it. And you can also have the hotkey and the security configuration. Something that is interesting is that now you can handle multiple configurations in one single object. I'm gonna delete this grouping because we won't need it in the process screen, but the last thing we can do is again ungroup. So since it's already grouped, we have the option to ungroup. And something nice as well I forgot to mention is that you can copy and paste, and you'll be duplicating the entire group. So sometimes you don't even need a group, but just for organizing your code, for example, I want this tank to be one entire group, you can group it and maybe duplicate it or drag it easier around the screen. So it's also a good measure for organizing your screen. So I'm gonna delete these two now, and let's implement something that's gonna be useful for our process screen. Remember these buttons here? We have, actually it's a rounded button, but it does have also another object. This one is a polygon for representing the play button. We also have a rectangle here as a square with the button behind. We also have this button here with a symbol from our symbol library. So what we were planning to do, and we did before, but it wasn't the way it was expected, is that We changed the visibility of the button, but we didn't change the polygon, for example, or the rectangle or the symbol. So if we wanted to hide both objects here, I would need to apply the IsVisible property twice. One for the button and another one for the symbol, which is over the button. And we can do it easier if we just select both of them and create groups for them. So I'm gonna create a grouping for this element. I'm gonna do the same thing for the stop button and another one for the clean button. So now we have a group and we can apply the IsVisible property to the entire group. So let's do it. I'm gonna put under this one. This is something that we already done, but I'm gonna apply now for the group. So if production status equals 1, it's gonna be visible only if the tag is 1. We're gonna do the same thing for the stop button. So it's gonna be visible if it's equals 2. And the same thing for the third one, but now we need to check 2 tags. Production status needs to be equals 0, but we also have the start clean machinery tag, which needs to be false. So in this case I'm gonna use production status equals 0 and the other tag start clean machinery equals false. Great. So as I said, we can also apply mouse events to the buttons, and we're gonna still need it. For the play button, we still want to open the screen whenever it's clicked. So I'm gonna remove it from the button 1. So this is gonna be moved from here, and we're gonna be putting on the group, and the mouse up. Great. The stop button, same thing, I'm gonna remove from the inner button. Let's expand it. And we're gonna be removing this script and putting it also on the group. And for the third one, same thing. We are changing the start clean machinery on the button. It's set to true when it starts our service. And we're moving to the group. Okay, we're done. Now something nice is that we can use the same space for the 3 buttons. Since we're not gonna be showing the 3 of them together, I can just put one above the other one. So let's select these 2, and the third one is the reference. So I'm gonna say align rights, and that's it. We have one over the other ones. And that's it. Let's save it and run a test. Okay, we have the application running, and let's go to the process screen. And now we have 3 different groups. One is for the play, one is for the stop, and one for the clean. First one is always asks to clean. This is something that I implemented. So let's clean the machinery. It's gonna disappear while it's doing the clean of the tanks. As soon as it finishes, it's gonna be enabling the start production button. So let's just wait until it finishes. Almost there. Okay, it's done. Now we have the start production button. And the mouse event worked over the group, so I can click either the polygon or the button, and both works. And I can select a Pilsen, and I'm gonna start. And now you can see that we have the stop production button here. So the 3 of them worked in both ways, not only in the mouse events, but also in the IsVisible property. And this is one of the ways to use the groups. So to summarize, the grouping object helps you to simplify your screens. It allows you to have less configuration. It helps you to create screen components that can be copied to other screens. or dragged easily. So use the grouping objects to help you. It doesn't matter if it's just for organizing your screen or for a greater purpose. You can always come back to this video for more information, and if you want to go deeper into the screen components, please also check the template object video. It may be what you need. So thanks a lot for watching this video, and bye bye.